Today I'm sharing my top 10 tumbler tools that I use every single day to make my life easier. These are things that you want to keep a lookout for in the holiday season coming up because you may be able to snag some deals, but even at regular price, they're gonna make your life so much easier. Links to each product will be in the description underneath this video. All of the things I'm about to recommend to you are things that I have been using personally, so I know they're gonna make your tumbler making process easier. In my last video, I went through some of the CrystaLac and tumblers and glitter, all of that sort of supplies. So if you haven't watched that one yet, make sure you watch it. I'm gonna link it in the top right-hand corner as well as underneath this video for more of a broad view of the supplies you need to actually make the tumblers. Today, I'm gonna talk about more of things that you can get on Amazon, things that are gonna make your life easier and your cups better. The first recommendation I have is a cup turner. While with CrystaLac tumblers, you absolutely don't need a cup turner. You can hang dry all of your cups. I really think it is an asset. It gives you a little bit more wiggle room when you're making your cups, and it will just help you step up your game. With a turner, you're able to do more and more designs that you wouldn't be able to do if you didn't have a turner. Plus, the ones on Amazon you can get for like $40 or less. If you're interested in doing a DIY, I will link my video right now in the top right corner of a DIY turner, but it is so easy just to buy one on Amazon. I actually have two that I recommend. I really like the faster spinning ones, but I have two, one that spins faster and one that spins slower, and I use both of them every single day. It's really a personal preference as to what speed you want, but you could even get one that allows you to change the speed. I will link all of those underneath this video. A quick note though, if you purchase your tumbler turner on Amazon, it is gonna come with a non-standard pipe. So if you were to buy PVC from the store, it would be 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. But the pipes that come with the turners from Amazon are not a US standard size. So if you're looking for an adapter or something for those, I actually sell those on my website. And I'm hoping to film a video coming up here soon about converting it from the 20mm size to a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch PVC pipe size. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that video. The next thing you need to grab are foam inserts. You will see a lot of people use the pool noodles or foam footballs from the Dollar Tree, but I just don't think that those work very well. I actually use two different kinds. The first kind are these foam cylinders, and they work perfectly for your 20-ounce skinny or your 30-ounce skinny tumbler, and you also have some wiggle room as to be able to use those in other tumblers. They're secure, they hold your cup on there, and they work really, really well. The second type I use are these other foam kind, I don't really know what to call them, but these work great for a wider mouth tumbler, so a modern curve, 20-ounce, 30-ounce, or even some of the camper mugs that I use. I recommend both, and you can use this style with a skinny tumbler as well. I just like to have both of these in my craft room. I'm confident that my cups won't fall off my turners, and it just works really well for keeping your cups steady while you're adding your bright tone. The next thing you need to have are good brushes. I actually use 3 different types when I make my tumblers. I use this type of Taklon brush to add my bright tone. I like the soft bristles. I either get this one on Amazon or sometimes I'll snag it at Joann Fabrics if I can use a coupon. I use a Wet n Wild contour brush. This is really great for adding paints or blending paints. I specifically use this when I want to do an ombre with my paint. And the third type of brush that I use are the CrystaLac brushes. These are relatively new. They are just similar to the blush brush, but they're a little bit bigger and definitely way cuter. But I use these to apply my base paints, whether that's Universal White or my Flippin' Awesome. I think it works really well to apply your paints. The brush that you end up preferring for whatever scenario is really a personal preference. So I would try out all 3 and see which ones you like best. When you're making CrystaLac tumblers, you want your temperature in your space to be 70 degrees or higher, and you want to have around 70% humidity. Now, sometimes it's hard to know what your numbers are, so I highly recommend grabbing a humidity gauge just like this one. It has the temperature and the humidity, and it's really small, so you can put it right by your cups. Now, my house gets pretty dry, so I like to have this around. On the cold winter day, I might be down at like 40% when you're trying to be closer to like 70%. So it's good to have that. If you find that your humidity is too low or your temperature is too low, you can run a space heater to bring up that temperature. You can run a humidifier to add some humidity into the air. Or if that is not enough, or you don't want to run a humidifier, you can try the CrystaLac reducer. And I use that reducer mixed with Brightone for my last 3 coats because my house is so dry. I talked more about that in my last video, so make sure you go back and watch how to use the reducer. Recommendation number 5 is a air purifier. Now, these are a little bit pricey, so as Black Friday and holiday sales start coming up, keep your eyes open because they help so much with cutting down the amount of dust or lint that is in your air. Now, sometimes you might find, especially if you're doing a non-glitter cup, it's hard to keep the lint and the dust off of your tumblers. While you can cover your tumbler with a bin, I have found that using this air purifier helps so much. I rarely have anything gather on my tumblers since I started using it. I will link my specific one down below, but definitely keep your eyes open because it is well worth it to have this in your space if dust and lint is something that you struggle with. My next recommendation is to get a rubber brayer or a brayer roller. You can find these at any craft store by the paints, or you can get it on Amazon. This helps with getting your glitter flat, especially if you're gonna do a chunky glitter tumbler. Now, getting the glitter flat helps you use less coats of Brightone, which means you use less time to finish your tumblers and just make your life a whole lot easier. I highly recommend that you get yourself one of these rubber brayers. You can get them pretty inexpensively on Amazon, so definitely add this to your stash. Tool number 7 are silicone cups and stir sticks. Now, you can use any medicine cup, any popsicle stick to stir, but I just recommend grabbing some silicone cups and stir sticks because they're reusable, they're super easy to clean, so you're producing less waste and just allowing yourself to reuse some of the things in your space. And they're super easy to clean. And the bonus of using a silicone stir stick is that you can use a popsicle stick. I use them quite frequently, but sometimes I can introduce some air, which can affect your bubbles that you see. So if you want to, if you're having some issues with bubbles and you mix a lot of things yourself, definitely try some silicone stir sticks. And I don't know, let's all put in our effort to help, save the planet. So these stir sticks are reusable and help you make less waste day to day. The next thing you need to buy is a cup cradle. I design and 3D print these myself, and they hold your cup super steady when you add your vinyl. I used to use a big bulky PVC situation, and one day I was like, I have nowhere to put this, so I am going to design and print my own small cup cradle, and it helps keep your cup steady, adding your vinyl and decals and all of that. You can grab one on my website, and I 10 out of 10 recommend. I didn't realize how helpful it was gonna be until I started using it, and I absolutely can't live without it anymore. The next thing I recommend that you grab is a phone stand, something that you can film your work with. I like this one that clips on the side of my table. You can bend it and move it and do overhead or even off to the side, but filming your stuff, if you are trying to put yourself out there on social media, is super helpful. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be even that good, but you just need to start filming. So I highly recommend that you grab one of these and just document some of the work that you do and do some high-speed time lapses and stuff like that, so you have some stuff to put out there on social media, especially if you are trying to build your business. Last but not least are smart plugs. I use the Casa brand on Amazon, and I have one for each of my cup turners. The reason I like to do this is because I can control turning things on and off from my phone or from my Amazon Echo Dot, as well as set timers. So I can have them automatically shut off every night at 11 p.m. so they don't keep running all night long because I forgot to turn them off. They are such a lifesaver for me, and I 10 out of 10 recommend that you snag some. They work really well alongside the Echo Dot, which I use to remind me when to recoat cups and switch cups, as well as control my turners. I can ask it to turn on turner 1, turner 2, and it will communicate with those. And my favorite part is being able to know that my turners are turned off for the night, every single night. The rest of the tools I use are very specific to running my business. So if you're interested in selling your tumblers and want to go over some of the shipping supplies and things that I use to pack and ship my tumblers, make sure you join me in this video on your screen.